I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm pretty heated right now because I'm not a Clippers fan, but what I saw tonight angered me because I know they are capable of so much more. For starters, let me welcome y'all. This is your boy Young Mustard, and obviously as you guys can see from the title, we're here to talk about this Clippers curse because it might just be legit at this point because these guys look awful. Now before I start lacing into the Clippers, let me say for starters, shout out to the Denver Nuggets because I did not expect them to get this far with the Clippers. I actually thought that they would lose in like 5 or 6 games. I didn't even think they'd get out the first round. I actually had the Jazz in 7. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have saw my predictions. Make sure you follow me, by the way. All the links for my socials are in the description box. But to the Nuggets, man, shout out to them because they really exceeded my expectations. Jamal Murray had a really good game 6. Nikola Jokic, of course, the best big in basketball. You could argue Anthony Davis, but I definitely think that what Nikola Jokic is doing right now is better than what any big is doing in the NBA currently, and that includes Anthony Davis. But that's a topic for another discussion. You guys know I'm trying to talk about what the disappointing Los Angeles Clippers are doing right now. Because for those who do not know, I made a video a couple of days ago about Kawhi Leonard that doesn't look like it's going to age well if the Clippers lose game 7 to the Denver Nuggets, especially if he doesn't show up and play up to expectations. But I think the real problem with the Clippers is 2 things. For one, Montrezl Harrell is garbage, like straight up not good right now. He's not playing defense well, he fouls too much, and offensively the drop off in his production is completely ridiculous. He was averaging nearly 17 points in the regular season, which just recently led to him winning 6th Man of the Year, but yet in the last 2 games he can't even give them double digits. He had 5 points in this previous game. 5 points. That's 5 more points than me, and I didn't even play. I gotta be honest, so far in the playoffs, Montrezl Harrell has looked like some energized Kevon Looney. Really, that's what he's looked like. And the crazy thing is that Looney's even better on the defensive end, but we'll get to that in a minute. But getting back to his scoring deficiencies though, it wasn't just some 1-game occurrence because he also had 6 points in game 5 also. So at this point, Harrell, you're gonna have to step it up offensively because the Clippers need some offensive help. But the real issue with him really isn't even his offense because as abysmal as he's been offensively at moments in this series, defensively is where the problem lies because he cannot defend Jokic at all. And even Paul Millsap going off in the 3rd quarter of game 5, that's partially to blame on Montrezl Harrell and Ivica Zubac because they could not stop anybody. Montrezl Harrell, I gotta be real, he's 6'8", 6'9", so I don't expect too much from him, but I think a lot of people put expectations as this great defender when that's really not what he is. He's just an energy guy, and as far as Zubac goes, he's shown improvement and effort, but obviously he's not enough to slow down Jokic, so Jokic is going to put up his numbers. If Rudy Gobert can't stop Jokic, no big man on this roster has a prayer's chance to stop Jokic. And if I'm Doc Rivers, he's in a really tough scenario because going into this game 7, he has to make the decision on what minutes he's going to give to JaMychal Green, to Montrezl Harrell, and to Zubac. But if I were him, I'd give more minutes to JaMychal, a little bit less minutes to Zubac, and give the least amount of minutes to Harrell because offensively, he's not giving you that much. He can't space the floor like JaMychal Green, and he can't defend like JaMychal, and I would even argue defensively, he's even been worse than Zubac in this series, and that's saying a lot because Jokic has been cooking his shit. And hell, maybe even throw some minutes to Joakim Noah, test out how he does on the defensive side of the ball, but considering it is a game 7, you really don't want to risk stuff that you haven't tried at all in the series, so I would understand if they don't do so. But as far as the second reason that I think this team is in trouble for game 7 is because they have no legitimate playmaker. I know playmaking is not something that you want to give one person the sole responsibility of, but considering that they have a plethora of playmakers and shot creators, then there's nothing wrong with one of the players just saying, hey, I'm going to play make solely today. You can get your buckets here or there, but dedicate the entire game to making plays for others because they do not have a primary playmaker, and in moments where Kawhi gets doubled, sure, he can find the open man here or there, but how many times do we see where they successfully trap him and they end up putting up a bad shot during that possession. And that's smart defense from the Nuggets because Kawhi is money from 12 to 15 feet. He gets to his spots in the paint or in the mid-range and he goes to work. And the Nuggets have found ways to trap him whenever he does so. So the other players have to be ready to make their shots. Lou Williams has been completely abysmal in this series. It seems like him and Paul George have swapped playoff talents, as Lou Williams has had some very inefficient scoring performances, and for a guy that's supposed to be the third option to Kawhi and PG, his performances have been completely unacceptable, and it really got bad in game 5 as he only had 4 points on 2 of 10 shooting from the field and was 0 of 5 from behind the arc. And mind you, he only played 19 minutes because of how bad he was on the defensive side of the ball, so he for sure needs to get the memo and start playing better. But it's not just him that's fucking up, it isn't just Harold that's fucking up, but Patrick Beverley, please control yourself. I know you have all this energy just built up inside of you, but sometimes you just need to pace yourself and calm down. The man fouled out in 18 minutes of play. You gotta slow down and pace yourself. There's a reason why people say Patrick Beverley's just out there running, because defense isn't always about how well you move your feet or if you can block somebody's shot. Sometimes it's about IQ and knowing when to be at certain places at the right time or when to make certain moves on the ball, and it is very obvious that Patrick Beverley struggles in that department. And for a guy that talks as much shit as he does, it is a little bit satisfying to watch, but now you're fucking up Kawhi Leonard's legacy here, so you need to play better, bro. I'm expecting a lot more from this team because they are capable of way more than what we are seeing right now. Shout out to Paul George, he's been playing well, but Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, as good as they are, they're not just facing Jokic, they're facing Jamal Murray, they're facing Michael Porter Jr., they're facing Monte Morris, they're also facing Paul Millsap, they're facing a plethora of nice offensive pieces that are young and energized, and the Clippers are not taking them serious. They need to be better because they are capable of so much better. It seems like they only bring out their A game whenever they're facing the Lakers, and I understand that the Lakers are obviously kind of their rivals. They're in the same city, they have LeBron, and the Clippers got Kawhi, blah 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 blah, but you should never mix up your confidence with complacency, and that's what the Clippers are doing right now. Because I gotta tell you, man, if the Clippers cannot get the job done in game 7, man, the Clippers curse will officially be legit. But before I end this video, let me leave y'all with this. I was so disgusted with what I saw from the Clippers because you can't be blowing leads in back-to-back games and expect yourself to win a championship. And for a team that's being led by a guy like Kawhi Leonard, I would think complacency is something that would be last on the list of things they would be doing. But maybe we shouldn't be blaming Kawhi, because let's not forget Doc Rivers has been a part of 2 3-1 leads blown before in the past, making him the only coach to blow a 3-1 lead twice, and he's on the verge of doing it for a 3rd time with the Clippers again. So yeah, Clippers, get your shit together, or else you're not even going to get a chance to play for the finals. But that concludes this video, you guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe. Hit that bell for post notifications. Comment your opinions down below. I would love to know what y'all think about this video, as well as check out the links in the description box and my social media. Y'all have a great day. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Stay safe and please wear a mask. Peace.